Where would we put stress on that one?
It comes in with mental health. Mental health can be good or bad.
Okay.
It's like your health, your physical health. You can either be very healthy or not so very healthy. You can be a happy person or a sad person. That speaks to your mental health. But mental illness, that's where you find things like bipolar, schizophrenia, anxiety, OCD, that's obsessive compulsive disorder, and things like that.
And the main objective is to strike a balance within your health. You know you've got very happy people or very sad people, and what you're trying to say is that to be a healthy person, there needs to be a balance in your persona and in everything that regards you. So, most importantly, let's separate mental health from mental illness, isn't it? Yes.
And also not forget emotional well-being.
Okay. With I'll go into detail with maybe what's currently happening. Some people going through stress, depression. So what happens? Give us examples, okay? Are there any examples, and how do you get to treat this? And some anzi muchiona zvirwere zvevanhu vane mari. I don't know.
Yes, and that's a very important thing, because culturally you figure that tinema sayings akaita sekuti zvinonzi imba ine mazino. We've been socialized to deal with hardships and to just digest them, and it is not the ideal. Yes, keep them inside. And worse, if it's a man, you don't talk about your problems. You can't be going around, sit around tables with other men and say, I'm so stressed and I can't keep things together. We've come and we've been socialized to believing that everyone should have it together, and it's not so, which has resulted in hypertension and depression. Disease. Yeah, so.
Okay. I need examples. Tell me of examples, maybe to someone who's listening. Maybe they've been in a relationship, or they broke up with is it a husband? They've divorced, or the daily examples. Yeah, give me one.
2 years ago,
okay,
a friend of ours came back from the UK, and he was stressed, but he never used to speak about it. He was just always sighing, and he wasn't in the mood to do anything.
Okay.
He was here for 3 days before he saw all of us. He did his rounds and he saw all of us. We dropped him off by 5th Avenue, and he walked to a train station, not too close to 5th Avenue. Okay. And jumped in front of a train and killed himself. Turned out he had...
What?
He had...
It happened.
It happened. And the thing is, he had just been with us, and none of us had the tools to be able to identify the fact that he was depressed. He had debt. He had taken Mwanawevanu, Nevana Ake, all the way to the UK. And to keep up with the Joneses, he had taken out so much credit, and he couldn't pay off the monies that he owed. So he decided to end his life. And we were not able, as friends, as his support system, to identify that he wasn't okay. And as a result, he felt he had nobody to count on, and he ended his life.
And then people leave a suicidal note. That then relates to say, okay, do you know what? Did you see this happening in my life? Did you see a point when I reached out to people and you guys didn't hear me? Such that people no longer reach out. They'll say, I tried to reach out to you the time I was gaining weight. There's a time I fell into depression. And I'll give an example of a friend of mine who's a project manager. And he was expected to construct a couple of houses, and he started panicking. And a colleague of mine says, and he was suffering a panic attacks. And what happens with panic is you feel it coming. And he was like, guys, please stay with me. Don't leave me. I need you guys right now. And he just says,
But even for a grown man to say, I need for you to embrace me and put pressure on my body as a way to calm me down. Record that it could actually help somebody from breaking down, but we don't understand those things. So if a man comes to you and says, hold me, you're like, what is that?
Yeah,
hold you.
And we've not been allowed to be vulnerable socially. And yet we're humans. We're humans with the need to be touched, to be loved, to feel affection, to give it back. To be able to say, you know what, I need you right now. Could you hold my hand? Well, I'm going through a tough time. It's it's become a place we hesitantly visit or ashamed for visiting, and that's our motivation to say that, you know, we are human. We need to be loved and be able to show it and give it back to other people.
Okay. Thanks. I'm in the studio. If you're just joining me, I'm with two beautiful ladies, and there's a question here coming, and someone is asking, Anzi, how did you get into this? What motivated you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this was our motivation. We have been through so much in life. Heartbreak. Kurambwa nekuramba vanhu is so hard.
Tell me about it.
Hard to deal with.
Okay, tell me about it. What happened?
Okay, so now,
I just want to know.
Should I say my wait? The fact, okay, just to interject. The fact that you go through a heartbreak, and beyond that, you say to yourself, "No one will ever do this again to me," means that something has been altered within you. Something has happened. Something has changed.
This heartbreak, it came. You're married, or
No.
it was a boyfriend?
No,
What?
A boyfriend, and it didn't hold enough water in society because it was just a boyfriend. But a relationship that I was very much invested in ended, and I felt like I was disintegrating. I felt like I was breaking. Each step just broke me even more, and I was falling slowly into depression.
Okay.
But because I had somebody to listen to me and speak to me through it and listen to my story over and over again and pick out the pieces of where it could have gone wrong and put them back and do that over and over a period of months, I got better. And because we've been there for each other,
Okay.
we've realized that if other people had somebody to lean on in times where they feel most vulnerable, they could actually come out triumphant in their situations. So our motivation is our life experiences and what we have been to each other and for each other in our lowest moments.
And also the realization that it doesn't take too much for you to acknowledge differences within people. You know,
Okay.
simple things we take for granted, like someone who was regularly a chatterbox isn't talking as much. People cannot maintain eye contact. People are not as engaged as they normally are. And these are things that we take for granted. And until you've been through such a situation, maybe you're not aware of it. But having gone through it and experienced it, you easily pick it out, say, you know what, I think you're struggling with something. And when you're good and ready, reach out to me because I want to help you.
Okay. So, what's your story, Sibo?
Tell me.
Yeah, I would want to know because what actually happens with radio, you've actually got someone who's in your situation listening, and they'll really want your help. This might help. This might help them. Okay, so what's your story?
I have two dear things, but I picked to choose one because I believe many people suffer from it.
Okay.
And it comes from a very dear place. I have two sons. One of them much lighter than the other one. And what happened with me is that his paternity disowned him. I was out of the country. I was working in Dubai, and his paternity just said, you know what? Well, now you hazi wedu. And I was out of the country, and this child was dumped at my father's doorstep. I had to terminate a contract at work and come. And this happened to me 3 years after they had insisted on a DNA test on my child. And I said, okay, do you know what? I'm unable to prove beyond you having done a DNA test. 3 years later, you come back and you disown the child again. And from that point, I heard so many versions. My baby came back home with burns to his face. Nobody would account for it. This child is a minor child. And when I went back to them and I said, okay, I accept the fact that you have disowned my child. Can we continue and finish off the process? You know, disown him completely. Let's go to the registrar. Let's get him off your records. And they never came. It's 2 years now since I've been back. 2 years since I left a job that was providing for these very same children. And coming back to people that are not going to go beyond them just throwing accusations, say that, you know, this child isn't ours. And yet they had already done a DNA test 3 years before. I needed support. It was a very difficult place for me. And without the structures that I have, and guess what? Now, every time I see someone who has been through rejection, it's not a big thing anymore because I've gone through it. When I see DNA testing centers, their reminder is not necessarily negative to me, but to say that, you know, somebody's probably in the negative of things that could actually be fixed or things that could be untrue said about them. And I've been through there. And so I know what it's like to be able to say things. Nobody talks about this because I've heard things like, "Yemudanga hairambwi," and it was said to my own child. And when I said to them, "Prove it," or "Give me your findings as to how you have disowned my child," they haven't come, and it's been 2 years. And our culture is one where people are constantly told to just sweep things out of the carpet, to say it's embarrassing to say that you're sent for a DNA test. And I have been there. And guess what? It didn't kill me. But then that is the very source of my strength, to say that if it doesn't kill you, there is perks. And then there's other people who are going through those very same situations. It would be great if you could help them or give them a hand, or at least direct them, say, if this is what you're struggling with, why don't you go in this direction?
You can live through it.
Oh, sad story there. But so how did you manage? I mean, Yola, are you the one who came through for her? So since you say, are you guys coming? Do you have an organization?
So we laugh about this.
You
Because her
laugh
children
about this.
are my children. For the birth of all her children, I've stood by the door, and where I cannot be let in, I'm there. But I'm only that. I've always said this to her, that I can only be as good a friend to you as you are to me.
Okay.
She's got my back. Whether I'm right or wrong, we're going to fight together. We're going to get beat up together. And then when we get home, we're going to re-strategize and say, next time we are not fighting people bigger than us.
Yeah.
But to just have somebody in your corner who's constantly rooting for you is priceless. We never used to understand when they say that if you have two or one good friend, loyal friend in your life, or one loyal person in your life, you have more than most. Because that is very hard to come by. But we want to be that for other people as well, who may be going through tough times.
Okay. So to round off, okay, maybe to someone who's in the same situation, okay, what is your advice to them? And I hear you guys are planning something. What should happen? What should they do?
Okay, so
the first thing to say to them is, you're not alone.
Yes,
You're not
and we are
alone.
willing to listen. There's always somebody willing to listen. If you are willing to speak out against the silence. Keeping it inside is the worst thing you could ever do. And also,
if you're willing to be very honest and truthful, because, you know, we have assumptions we make to ourselves, and we make and thrust upon other people. And what we're saying is, if we can be truthful, the process may be very difficult, but we will come out on the other end of it with something very substantial.
So what Spogele and I are road signs on your journey through life. We can point you to the right organizations, to the right people who can help. So what's happening is that on Saturday, we're going to actually take a stand, or rather take a walk for mental health and emotional wellness. We will be up bright and early at 6 o'clock. We should be by Pomona Pariah, walking down to
Pomona Pariah Drive.
Yes, and if you're willing to join us, if you've been through anything emotionally stressful or things that make you happy, it's not just about the bad things. If you've got things to celebrate or things to cry about, join us at 6:30 and take a walk with us. Take a walk with us and
bring along your friends.
Saturday, is it?
Saturday, yes.
Okay.
This Saturday,
16th of February.
Yeah.
And they're saying, bring along, bring your friends, bring your colleagues.
Bring your dog.
Bring your dog even if you like to. But what we're saying is that it's going to be safe. And it's 5 kilometers from Pomona to Pariah Harare Drive. And if you're going to be doing the return, it's going to be 10 kilometers. Everybody has been through something. And the best thing you can do is harvest on the groups that are there. There's people that want to help you, people that have dedicated their lives. And sometimes it's as easy as you just harvesting on someone who's willing to lend an ear. So let's walk together on Saturday. Saturday, we're starting off at 6:30 in the morning
So maybe you can leave me. How do they contact you? Anyone who wants to contact you, how do they get to you? Do you have like a social media page, or you want to leave your phone number?
I'm
What?
gonna leave your phone number, but there's no registration fee required. Just come.
For free.
Come for free. Come have some refreshments and come have fun with us. Come stand with us.
Let's make a culture of it. Let's lead people to the right places. If someone is in a difficult space, if someone is in a space where they don't know what to do, let's point them in the right direction. Let's point them to places where they can get help.
Nice. That leaves me to thank you, ladies. I was actually live on Facebook, Prominence Makaza, my page. Okay, so yeah, you watching, you can be part of it. You didn't. How do they get to you? Give out your number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our number is 0775 664847.
The number once more.
0775 664847.
Thank you, ladies, for coming to Classic 263.
It's been a pleasure.
Lovely.
Thank you.
So there you have it. If you want to be part of it, you've got the phone number. If you're not going to call, it's going to be happening on Saturday. Here is Egyptian with the song one more time. Classic 263. Now we are talking.
Yeah. Was that terrible?